so excited for this episode.
I'm excited for this one too. This is something that I've been waiting for at this point now months.
A few months, because yeah, I've been wanting to do this episode for a while, but I wasn't sure if I'd be able to for a little bit yet. But we get to.
It's coming.
No, today we're gonna do a story submitted by our listeners. So the people that watch this on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, they have submitted a few stories via our Instagram. I will put a link in the description. So if you want to submit your story and have it be read, that would be super cool. We'd appreciate it.
I wanted to say first off, thank you to everybody who submitted. Your guys' interaction makes this go so much better, and we're very excited to be able to do this again in the future. So, any other listeners who are seeing this, please send them in. Like, we're so excited to be able to share these with you.
Yes, yes, we very much appreciate it. They were great stories, so well written, and I think you're gonna like them. When I was reading them and typing them out, because I had to retype it from Instagram to a document, but when I was reading them, I was just so like in awe at the stories because the way they were describing them, they're still so vivid. You get such a good picture in your head of what's happening. Then, honestly, they're really good writers. They drew me in so well. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so impressed. So yeah, they did so good. But yeah. Yeah, they were so well written. They're really spooky. I was, as you know, going to record the episode right after I got typing this, but I was so emotionally exhausted after typing it because of how intense the stories were reading them the first time. I couldn't do it the same night because it was too much. Our first story. This is I think the second person that wrote in, but it was so good. So good. I'll get right into it. We moved from a house that we had been renting from 2013 to 2022. It was a pretty small house, being only one floor with everything close together. The living room kitchen was one half of the house, and the other half was bedrooms and basement. As you walked from the living room into the hallway, immediately in front of you was my room, which was the living room prior to the house renovations that took place several years before we moved in. Next to my room was a door that led to the basement. Next to that, my sister's room. The basement had a set of wooden stairs that would creak as you walked down them. At the bottom of the stairs, there were two doors, one to the left and one to the right. Both rooms were directly under mine and my sister's room. The room under mine had a single long light hanging that would buzz when turned on, and we were told that someone at that point had lived down there. In the other room was only a lamp plugged into the wall. The room also had a set of concrete stairs that went into my parents' closet as well, and another room under the stairs with an old bag filled with children's books. I want to say a few months after we had moved into this crazy house is when weird stuff started happening. At first, it wasn't anything crazy, just seeing things out of the corner of your eyes and such, but slowly, it got more creepy and stayed that way pretty much up until we moved. So one night, I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and at the time, my sister and I both slept with our doors open. I was 13 or 14, and my sister was around 11 or 12. As I walk out of the room and down the hall past the basement to the bathroom, which was directly across from my sister's room, as I'm walking out of the corner of my eye, as clear as day, I see the shape of a man standing in my sister's room. He was in front of her window, staring towards her bed. Now, I didn't think much of it. I just thought I was seeing things because it was late. Several weeks go by, and I tell my sister and her friend, who was sleeping over. I told them about what I saw, and they had both seen him too. My sister called him the Horned Man, as did her friend. They both said that they saw him near or in her closet, just watching them, as they slept. For added context, my sister also has a random porthole style window in her closet that went to nothing. As time goes on, we see him off and on again. One night, a few months later, my mom, cousin, and sister and I were all watching a movie when suddenly my cousin is legit staring into my sister's room like she was watching something. I kept asking her what she was looking at, but she didn't respond. It's like she didn't even hear me. Then, Slowly, she got up off the couch and slowly stared towards the hallway, which was pitch black since we were watching the movie at night. We're now all asking her what she's doing, and she's waving her hand at us to be quiet, and then disappears into the dark. My mom then gets up and turns the hallway light on and starts asking what the fuck she had been looking at. My cousin then starts talking about how she saw someone pacing back and forth in my sister's room, and she noticed because the light from the street lamp outside kept getting covered. As she was moving towards the moving thing in my sister's room, she said it stopped, completely darkening my sister's room. She said it was like it had stopped and started staring at her. After that, my sister had started filling her closet with more personal items so that the horned man would leave her closet, since she had nothing in it before. He did living room, but not the house. After that, every night almost, I'd walk into the hallway. This intense feeling of eyes being on you was overwhelming. I would run from my room to the bathroom and close the door because that's the only time the feeling would go away, behind closed doors. But the hallway, it was like being swallowed in darkness, because normally you could see my parents' white door at the end of the hall, but when the horned man was in the hall, it was nothing but a black void. This continued for years. The hallway darkening, the feeling you're being watched, and that there's evil present watching you, wanting to get at you. I've never felt anything like it to this day. The worst experience, I think, was about 2 years ago. There was a pretty intense spring rainstorm, and I could faintly hear the wind and rain outside. As I'm laying there, half asleep, listening to the rain, there's a sudden low, deep growl in my ear. This shit was so loud that I immediately jumped up out of my mind, and as I sit up, my bedroom door opens. And then the back door opens at the first wind that blew through our house into my room. I waited to hear any of our cars starting because my dad would leave for work around 3 a.m., which was when this happened. I heard nothing, just silence and rain. Ew.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's why I was getting so intense because just the growling and those rooms. I need to start with those rooms because what the fuck? Those should be locked shut. Absolutely not.
There don't need to be people in those.
Wooden stairs and all there is two bedrooms on each of your side. It's like pick one, like death, and then on the other one it's dying. Same thing, not good.
See, I just hate how it's consistently ramping up. Like it starts and it's just like, oh, maybe I saw the silhouette of a guy, turning into like consistent, like poltergeist doors opening, closing,
That's
like wind blowing in.
nuts.
You've got like sounds and that kind of stuff coming in at the same time too. Like it's progressing. Like I want to know if they've moved out, if there's any sort of other like things, and this is actually somebody we can reach out to and potentially find some of this out after the fact.
They moved out just last year.
Okay.
So they were in it for 9 years. I'm not gonna lie, because I've had so many nightmares and dreams of being in my room. And I know when things happen and like I wake up, I'm like, whoo, and get scared. But if I just woke up to growling in my ear and then all the doors start fucking opening, oh my God, I'd cry. I'd actually just crawl under my blankets and cry.
My heart rate's gonna skyrocket for sure. And
Oh my God, can you imagine? Because like I've had dreams where I'm sleeping right and I'm like it feels like I'm half asleep, but it's just black void. And then there was a conversation and I heard like a situation start to escalate and then a gunshot went off in my ear and I couldn't see anything. I could just hear it. So I don't know if I was like hear dreaming and not see dreaming. I never thought I'd use those words in my life. Hear dreaming and see dreaming. That sounds so fucking stupid. Um but I don't know. So like, and I know that woke me up, and like a gunshot, I'd much rather have that experience again than what they went through that night. It's crazy because they opened the back door too,
Mhm.
like the back door during a hard rainstorm. Like, mm-mm. The fact that his door opened first.
It's like it was walking out. I mean, we had an experience the other night where we both woke up at like 3 a.m. to a clang, and it was just our whiteboard fell down. Like the stickies ran out. It just poop, which we could look into that a little further potentially.
Didn't really think about it that much, honestly, because I was so tired. I'm like, oh, that thing's fallen before. I don't know. I think it's just hard to stick to that wood. I'll have to relocate it. I don't want to relocate it though. I
It's a good
really
spot
want
for it.
to. It's really nice.
But yeah, like that got our heart rates going. Much less to have this be something that's progressed over time, it's consistent, you know what's going on, and it's not stopping. And then it just keeps getting worse. And then the growling on top, like, no, no, no. Listener, how did you not just like have a heart attack and die? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, they're braver than I am. No. No, I wouldn't do it.
There would be urine in the bed.
So, oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the darkening in the hallway, like a void.
Yeah, where it's like almost closing.
Remember when I had that dream that was the exact same thing? And then that night I kept feeling like I was getting swarmed by darkness. That is terrifying. When you try to explain it to someone who hasn't experienced it, like, oh, it was completely pitch black, but it got darker. They're like, how did it get darker? Like, no, you just feel engulfed by darkness. It's like you're not just seeing black, you can't see anything. That's how it feels. And it's crazy and it like consumes you. It's a terrifying feeling. Um, no, they're much braver than I am. I could not do that.
I'm so glad I've never experienced that.
You don't want to. I would not recommend that one. There's some stuff that's interesting, like, oh, this is just happening.
No,
That's terrifying.
no.
It is. It's scary. It is. But I like that story. That was such a good one.
Round two.
Round two. It happened when I was 8 or 9 years old. I was watching a movie in the kitchen, sorority row. This was when the activity in my house was very high. So I'm just chilling, watching this movie, mind you. No one's in the room with me. My parents are out with my little brother, and my sisters are on the other side of the house. The older sister, I'm the youngest girl, is the one I saw the mimic of. We'll call her Jen, 19 or 20. I turn around because I feel like something was wrong, like a gut feeling. And I see my sister Jen. I'll describe how she was dressed because it's important. She was wearing her favorite green sundress. Like she wore this whenever she was staying home. She was wearing sandals and with her natural afro out. I talk to her and say, "What are you doing? Are you washing dishes?" No response or movement. But I do hear the water running now. I say, "Why are you not talking to me?" Still, no answer. I try one more time. "Jen, can you please say something?" I thought she was trying to scare me, so at this point I'm fed up with no answer. I walk up to her, and when I'm about a foot away, I immediately get goosebumps. I was going to touch her shoulder, and something told me not to touch her at all, and to look for my other sister. So I back up slowly and look at her for a bit, and notice I can't see her face at all because of how her hair is done. So I run to my sister Gab, 10 or 11. She was in the room at the end of the house, and on the way running to her, our bathroom door is open with the light on. So I step backwards, and it's Jen in the bathroom. She is in a completely different outfit, a nice shirt with a jacket and jeans and normal shoes on. She has nice makeup and is in the middle of doing her hair. Like, she is almost finished, and it takes about 2 hours to do her hair. I asked Jenny, "Why did you play that mean trick on me?" And she tells me, "Tally, I've been in my bathroom getting ready to go out. I haven't been in the kitchen. Maybe it was Gabby." I immediately burst into tears because Jen is my half sister, and Gab is my full sister. So we don't look exactly alike to Jen. So it couldn't have been Gab. Jen looks at me and is like, "Tally, calm down. I will go to the kitchen with you." The movie is still playing, and she's like, "Are you sure the movie didn't scare you?" I look at her and explained what happened, and her face. You could tell she was scared. And she said, "I saw you there the other day, doing the same thing. But I heard you playing games in the other room, so I went there to check on you, and you were playing. But when I went to the kitchen, nothing was there. She told me not to touch or talk to it the next time it happens. I should just look for her or Gab. Everyone in my house has been alone and has heard one of us talking to them when no one else is there. One time, when I was hanging out with my two old friends, this is when we were about 17 or 18, we'll call them Chuck and Laz. Chuck and Laz were outside of my house in my yard. I had went inside to get them something to drink and some snacks. This is when it happened to them. It was late, and the sun had just set and everything was getting darker out. Chuck had gotten a phone call from Laz, the same number and everything. But Laz's phone was outside charging with them because it was dead. So Chuck answers the phone and goes, "Yo, who is this?" You hear a demonic Laz saying, "Hey bro, sorry for hanging up, my phone was dying." This is all on speaker, and Laz literally grabs the phone and says, "Who the fuck is this? Because I'm Laz, I'm right here, and my phone is fucking dead." The demonic Laz starts laughing, and it's the scariest laugh ever, and it hangs up. They run inside, freaking out, and tell me, and they show me the call, and that his phone was still dead. So it wasn't him. They were white in the face from how scared they were, and I immediately got goosebumps, and I have to cleanse the house the next day because it had left a horrible feeling in my stomach. And if I talk about this at my house, I have to be inside, because if I'm outside, I get the same horrible feeling I did that day.
The mimics are one of the freakiest things to me.
They're so terrifying.
You know I'm not the most observant person in day-to-day life, and the fact that something could just like present itself and be like, "Oh hey, Shay, I didn't realize you were home," and then it kills me. Like that. I didn't think that was that funny. I think it's terrifying. Why are you laughing?
Because and then I die.
Like that's just what I'm picturing.
That's
like,
so dramatic.
well, it's what happens in the movies.
And then I saw something, and it kind of touched me.
No, I touched
died.
it. No, I touched it.
Why would you touch it?
That's the question. Like, hey, Shay, I didn't realize you were home. And like, boop. And then I'm dead.
What would happen if you did touch it, though?
I don't know. That's my problem. Because they didn't touch it. They like got within a foot of it and got the shivvy and then ran away to go find their friend.
I think you have to give yourself more credit. I don't think you'd mess up that bad. I think I've taught you well enough to pick up on that. Maybe.
I don't know. That's just it. I just don't know. And to have something. The other part of that freaked me out was like, you can't see its face. Where like its hair is like covering his face. Like, I think it's the movie The Grunge. Like an old school horror movie. Something like that. Anyway, totally can't see, like no idea. Like that freaks me out. Like little girls like running upside down with their like contortionist hair like kind of stuff.
Have you seen that
Scares
girl
me.
on TikTok?
I don't think so, no.
There's a girl on TikTok. She plays like a contortionist. Well, she is a contortionist, but she's an actor as well. And she was contorting for a horror movie, so she was bending all gross.
Yeah, see that kind of stuff? No.
Yeah, if that chased me, like that would get me.
I would die.
Like I would rather see a full body apparition than to have that shit crawling at me. I would just die.
Children are creepy. But yeah, it's the again, the fact that something can just like present as anybody in your life and everybody in the household again was like, yeah, I just like had the same experience. I was home alone, heard you talking, or like saw you in the kitchen, walked to the bedroom, and there you are again. Mm-hmm. And like part of me feels like I've had something like that happen, but my memory is so bad I can't actually draw it back up. But like I swear something similar like has happened when I was younger with Ross.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. You had a paranormal experience?
Now that we're talking about it, maybe. But again, like my memory's garbage. So if it did happen versus if it's a dream. We were if my brain is right, and again, this could have been a dream and I'm just total BS, but I thought at the time Ross was in like the playroom. So this is back when we lived at the old house before I moved here. Upstairs, there's like a little landing area. My parents' bedroom is on one side. You've got a bathroom in between, and then Ross and my bedrooms are on the other side. Mm-hmm. And so at the time, Ross and I had shared a bedroom, which then later became mine with bunk beds. And we had a separate like room that was a playroom. So there's all kinds of toys and like a basketball hoop and Legos and whatever else is all in there. And then we got like standard bedroom. So I come running upstairs thinking that Ross is home. And I thought I saw him in the bedroom. I'm like, hey, hi. And didn't get anything. Went to the bathroom, came back out and he wasn't there. I went and I found him and he's downstairs in like the living room and had no recollection of anything. Again, if that's true.
I want to say it is because I simply just want to.
You want to believe it's real?
Because, I don't know, you're always like, you're so weird for having those experiences. How do you do that? Like, it just happens. Like, that's crazy. You haven't.
It drew something like back into my memory, and I get it could have been a dream. My brain could figment something. My memory's awful. I can't remember last week for anybody who's listening.
That's why I say I want to believe you, but I'm not sure I do because I know how bad your memory is. So I'm just like, I don't know. You have such a terrible memory. You tell stories like not how it happened. Not how it happened.
It can't go like that. Sorry, Connor.
Yeah, like, I was there too, and that's not what happened. She fell down a whole flight of stairs. I fell down 3.
There's only 5 steps. It's the whole flight.
There was like at least 14 steps. I think I counted at some point, but it was only like 3 steps. She fell down the whole flight of stairs.
You fell down the stairs. It's okay.
Oh, it wasn't the whole flight. Don't argue with me again this episode. I kicked you off for a few episodes, and now you're back. Don't test me.
I will keep my mouth shut. I like being on the podcast, and I like interacting with the people, so I will be quiet.
Podcasting privileges, okay? Keep them in check.
Sounds good. Okay, do we have a third story?
We do have a third story. This is our third and final one. I really liked this one. This one was a cool one. So a few decades ago, before I was born, my pa, aka my grandpa, said that one night he woke up around 3 in the morning. It took him a moment, but he eventually found out that it looked like all the lights were on. He looked around, but saw that all the light switches were off. He sat there for a while and then asked, "What do you want?" As soon as he asked, a beam of light went from his room to a closet in the living room. When he opened it up, he saw a flash of light and a man would scratch you and cut you. If he liked you, all you got was a breath on your neck. In 2013, my abuelita, great-grandma, passed away. And ever since, she would just peek around the corner of the hallway, or from inside their room. If you walked in, there was a chance of seeing them in the mirrors. Another ghost we have is referred to as Yellow Eyes. There are a few different cases of his sightings, but he seems to arrive when someone in our family is under severe stress. One such case was with my Tio Anthony. He was in the car with my cousin Crystal when she was 5 years old. She was being fussy from a disagreement they had before. When Tio looked into the rearview mirror, he saw yellow eyes. He didn't do anything or make any noise. He just sat there in the back seat next to Crystal. Tio tried not to pay attention by just continuing his lecture with his daughter. Lecturing, Crystal calmed down and stated that she was feeling better. When she said that, Yellow Eyes did what looked to be a big sigh and left. Yellow Eyes has always been seen as a dark, shadowy figure with long hair over their face. All that could be seen was the yellow eyes peering from within the hair. So far, since my brother Aiden is a little depressed, he shows up quite a bit, more often than usual. Each sighting getting creepier with every day we see him. Sadly, not long ago, my abuela and pa passed away. They peer out of their room every once in a while, and I can sometimes see Pa in either his recliner or on the bench we have outside, his favorite spots. Sometimes when I come home from work, I hear, "Who's there?" And I would just say that, "I'm home, Pa," and would hear an "Okay, son" from him time to time. Wayla hasn't appeared as much as Pa, at least, not here. She usually inhabits my dreams. Sometimes I thought I was just dreaming them, but every time I see her in a dream, she acts a little different, almost as if she doesn't belong in my dreams.
I think it's really sweet that his grandpa is continuing to come back and he's like, hey, who's there?
I thought.
I got like a little pouty face. I'm like,
Just hi.
That's gotta be so, like, if you're just kind of used to it, that's gotta be so heartwarming to just hear, "Who's there?" Like, just talking to you. Oh,
That'd be really sweet to be, and I know that you have a really like strong connection with your grandma, and so be able to hear her have like that interaction with her, I think would be like really powerful and meaningful
Oh,
or
I'd
meaningful to you.
cry.
And so like if that happened to you, I'd be so excited and also spooked out of my mind and might need to run a couple of miles to get my energy out. But
I wonder if anyone.
anyone else has heard their paw, like, say who's there or hello?
I wonder, yeah, if it is just like the listeners like perspective and they're the only ones that are hearing that, or if other family members have heard it while they're around, if the spirit does linger within the house, or if it is just like kind of localized to him. Maybe he had, I'm assuming it's a he, but maybe they had a like stronger connection with their grandpa.
Yeah, that was.
That one wasn't quite as spooky, but
I thought it was
The
so.
yellow eyes are spooky. I don't know what you mean.
I'm not gonna say it's not. But
I'm still picturing-
The end was heartwarming.
The end was heartwarming.
The yellow eyes.
eyes is a no-go from me. I do not. Ooh, I don't ever want to see eyes.
Again, I'm picturing like you can't see the face, and it said like yellow eyes peeking
yeah.
through the hair.
Terrible. Terrible. No, 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 no. No. That's not for me. Red eyes would be worse, though.
Red eyes.
Yeah, I prefer yellow over red.
What color eyes would be the best color eyes? Like if you have to see eyes in the middle of the night, would like chartreuse
I don't know what
be?
the fuck kind of color.
Color that is. What if it was like peach or like or lavender?
Lavender eyes.
Lavender.
My brain, I'm like agreeable gray.
Agreeable gray.
From
Okay.
Sherman Williams.
Your mother would be so proud.
Funny, but it is.
It's only funny if you know us.
Her is that dang agreeable gray.
The family was painting the house and loved agreeable gray, and Shay was not as agreeable with the gray.
I actually disagreed with the gray. But agreeable gray. It's not funny. It's not funny at all.
But no, the thing that I take away from that story is like
Fucking lavender eyes.
that's not what I was doing.
I feel like they'd just be so pissed off that I made fun of them. Be like, you know what? Fuck you. Go pick someone else to haunt. Enough eyes with a piece of mascara on.
Just through the hair, like
Take
angry face. Oh, but I really do like that they were able to make that connection with somebody that they were close with and like have that afterlife,
Yeah.
you know, and just to be able to check in. Like, I think that's something that everybody wishes, you know, if you lost a grandparent, or you've lost a pet, or you lost somebody close to you, like a friend or a significant other, to be able to check on them or have them checking in on you and knowing that that interaction is happening and like they do care about you and they want to know what's going on. Like that piece is so comforting. It makes me feel good, and I'm glad that the listener sent that in.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Personally, I feel like I would get a lot of closure from it just to know that they're okay. But I don't know. I feel like the first couple of times it would be kind of creepy. Be like, what the heck? I don't think I would just like keep going through my day. I think I'd have to like be like, what the fuck, at least once.
I'd be like, what the fuck, at least once, but like if it's continuing to happen, it's the same person, there's like nothing really like malicious feeling about it. That might be a little different. I think it's really interesting though that a majority of the things that they're seeing, minus yellow eyes, are family members. And like it does make me think of like Dios de los Muertos, Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
I can't remember the actual like terminology for it, but like you do get to have that connection with your family on that day, and I wonder if like being able to celebrate that helps to bring that connection back around over time. So
Yeah. No, I
I
think
think that's super sweet. I love that. I love that for them. However, I'd be very pissed if I saw dead you in a mirror. Because I'm terrified of mirrors.
you have a weird thing with mirrors.
I don't look at them at night, and I had a dream where I looked in a mirror at night and I wanted to die. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm giving advice. Don't do freaking Ouija boards, and don't look in mirrors at night. Or in your dream. Don't look at them in your dream, even. I don't recommend.
If you see a dead me at all, then we have problems because
Oh yeah, but if I see you in the mirror, I feel like you would be that stupid smile film with like the
no,
but you would because you're always freaking smiling. So you'd be
I have wrinkles.
like, your crow's feet, yeah.
I've got them around my eyes and around my cheeks. And
At
I
least
got
it's
It's not like because I have wrinkles on my forehead from scowling all the time. I saw a TikTok last night. She her face so much that she got a tan line in between her eyebrows where she scrunches. She relaxed and you can see the two white lines.
I love it. That makes my whole week.
Yeah, they made fun of her. They're like, is why you're so grumpy or something like that? Or like your grumpiness is permed up, I don't know, on your forehead or something like that. Just scrunches her eyebrows. Like that. She got a tan line from it. So good. I hope at least a couple people saw that one because it was so funny. It was good though. It was good. I appreciated the write-ins, and to any other listener who wants to send in their story, again, please message it through Instagram. We love reading your stories. I really enjoyed these and getting your guys' views and your experiences. It was really cool. Our Instagram is just at thelastparanormal, all lowercase. And if you want your story submitted and read, that'd be awesome. And if you guys could also include your pronouns just somewhere in there so I can read them right because I don't want to misgender anybody. So yeah, make sure to just include like your pronouns if you want to be added in any of the stories for credit. That applies to the people that submitted theirs for this one. Let me know if you want me to share any of your social medias or give you credit anywhere because I can absolutely do that. And yeah, I think that's it. Please submit. Thank you guys again. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, you guys. I appreciate everybody who sent their information, and these really drew me in, and they were some of my favorite stories yet. And this was one of my favorite episodes to be able to record.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
See you guys.
bye.